Hey, what is up YouTube? It's Overlord Gaming here, and today I was going through YouTube and I found something actually kind of interesting. I was searching through, I was frustrated with Xbox, and I was frustrated with Battlefield, henceforth I wasn't playing it, and I came across a YouTuber named Jacqueline Glenn who I was actually already subscribed to, and I watched one of her videos called Kidnapped for Christ, and it kind of like piqued my interest. It's these kids being sent away by their parents to, quote, be reprogrammed and be good little Christians. So I actually watched the movie myself, and it's actually just atrocious. It is essentially these kids, as again, being sent away by their parents for not being the best little Christians, for being, human and having different opinions, being homosexual, having their own sense of sexuality, having their own sense of, freedom and morality, and being, sent away off to another country, overseas. And it just how do I explain it? It's a lot like being indoctrinated into the military is what they're doing. They're basically reprogramming your brain in such a way that you will, I guess, have it instilled to you for the rest of your life. The belief in God, the fear in God, whatever you want to call it, and you will, be a, quote, devout Christian. And just the stuff that they do, they're usually abused, and I don't mean like physically beat, although I can see that that is some of the stuff that happens. They're given very little water, very little food. They're usually made to work manual labor quite a lot. It's a lot like, as again, military indoctrination. They do a lot of workouts. If you guys know what a STAR is, at least for middle schools, it's something akin to that. Now that doesn't sound too bad, does it? But they're given roughly 15 to 20 minutes to talk to their family on the phone. They have no outside contact, and it's just terrible. I mean, these kids are being punished for being human, and their parents are the ones who sent them away. I personally think that stuff like this should totally be abolished. It's terrible as to what they're doing, and it's just not right in any single way. Some of the parents actually wouldn't let their kids, contact their friends, or they wouldn't bring their kids back from this program, and some kids actually spent years in this kind of stuff, away from their friends, away from their family, away from their home, and away from their comfort zone. Now this has a terrible psychological effect on people who are younger, such as, in their teens. Adults are usually able to handle things, or at least young adults are able to handle things mentally a lot more better, I suppose, a lot better than what younger teens would, such as people being 13, 14, and even 12. And there are actually younger people than that at that camp called Kidnapped for Christ. And that actually, it really does mess them up. They come back being scarred. They have something akin to PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. They have horrible nightmares. Some of them actually have somewhat, I guess, hallucinations about it, and just that sort of thing. If you're gonna scare your kid like that, that's terrible. And stuff like this is cropping up all over the nation. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and as a kid, it's terrible. I understand that everyone has their own religion and each to their own. However, you shouldn't force that kind of stuff on your kids. That kind of stuff is just terrible. It does cause a lot of problems, mental instabilities. They become more quiet. They become more drawn into themselves. And they tend to have, later on in life at least, a lot more medical problems, at least mental health problems medically. And that's also excluding the kind of stuff that they could be exposed to whenever they're living across seas in a third world country. I think it was actually, I want to say Belize. I don't think that's quite right though, so don't, put me on that. Take that with a grain of salt. But as again, that stuff is just kind of terrible. And I was reading somewhere that, the parents didn't quite know how bad the, quote, abuse was over there. But, I mean, they were able to let some stranger come into their home and, I mean, literally, like, tie their kid up and throw them in the back of the truck and take them overseas somewhere. And, be perfectly okay with that. I doubt that they would have a problem with someone doing that sort of thing, like what they were exposed to down there with their kid, if they're willing to let someone kidnap them. That's just totally being a zealous idiot for religion, and there's no reason for it. You shouldn't have your religion drive you that far, in my personal opinion. That's the kind of stuff that starts wars. That's why so many people are dying now. from religion. But that's a topic for another time. I want to know what you guys think about this, kidnap for Christ stuff, and what you guys, think about just religion in general. This is Overlord signing out, and I'll see you guys next time.